Anu moment. Wow, to be back in the sanctuary after all this time. So it's really great to see all of you. This afternoon, I learned that we received a special video from our rabbinic colleagues in Haifa, Gabi and Nama, who have been a part of our lives and Philip's life for the last 9 years. And so I'm grateful that they sent a video. So we wanted to just take a look at that first. So Stephen, if we're able to play their greeting. Maybe.
That's great. Can you try not to go a little too much louder than that?
That's not
I will
it.
not go very loud. We'll also close the door.
Thank you.
This is very serious behind the scenes
the
work you guys get to see.
Zoom link.
This is how we get ready for Shabbat.
We should
I'm ready.
the people in.
I'm sorry, ready?
Yes.
It's good that Zach, our intern, is still back there.
This is a great opportunity to thank Stephen Ashkenos for filling in tonight, and Max.
I was muttering to myself that we're going to have a bit of an issue. So actually, give me...
So maybe this won't work. So let's do this. While Stephen tries to figure out the technology, Philip usually does the technology, so we're in a lot of trouble this evening.
I'll be back in a second. Sorry.
Let's sing.
People will get restless.
Because my microphone just went off as well. Now we're back on.
I could do that. That's scary.
I got you.
Waiting for la 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 Try this again. We're told that it's ready. So let's try Rabbis Nama and Gabi.
Check.
One shot. There we go.
פנים אל מול פנים, גישה באמצע החיים. הגענו אל עצמנו ממקומות כל כך שונים. העיר נראית אחרת, כאילו לא היינו פה. הלילה את נשארת, חכה איתי לבוקר שיבוא.
Dear Rabbi Philip, this Israeli song, Panim El Mul Panim, talks about sacred encounters, this special and holy minute when you meet someone who's so different, who's from a different and faraway place, and you feel that you can see them panim le panim, almost like God to Moses. Those moments of ani ata, ani at. We're so blessed to have met you. We're so happy that we share a journey, and we're so curious to see where this good way will lead you.
We're wishing you the best of luck in your new journey. We're friends forever, and we hope to see you with us, as well as coming to see you in your new dream. אהבנו פעם באמת ובתמים, אהבנו כמו שילדים יודעים, עליי וגם עלייך רואים את השנים, ואת יפה פנים אל מול פנים.
בהצלחה, פיליפ.
בהצלחה, good luck.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let us
Shalom.
begin in song and celebration. I want to welcome Philip and Leah's family who's come in from afar. It's great to see all of you. Let's begin. So it's good to be together this evening celebrating Shabbat. So let's look on the screens for the words Hine Matov Umanaim, how good it is to be. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Philip usually does all our visual tefillah.
Philip, did you do our
We
visual
are in
tefillah
trouble.
tonight?
What are we going to do? Can we try? Oh my gosh, what has he been doing in his office? I don't know. Now we know what Philip's been doing in his office. Can we try to go to the next? Oh boy.
Philip.
Hine Matov. Is there a Hine Matov up there?
What were you doing?
Philip, you've been distracted. Where to watch the Timberwolves games in Chicago? There we go. What are we going to do? Let's join together.
I actually thought there was a problem.
Let's join together. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Let's do that again, all together. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Repeat after me. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. How good it is. How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. Everybody sing Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
It is good to be together in the sanctuary. We know many people are joining us on Zoom. I'm glad that all of our clergy are healthy, unlike a Cantor Suffren celebration. Rabbi Sapphire was home. But I realize someone is missing with COVID that we asked to come in on Zoom if it's possible. Stephen, can we bring them on Zoom? I hope.
Hi, Philip. It's your pal, Shimmy. Remember me? It has been such an honor to sing and play and pray with you at Tachabots and all sorts of programs. I have loved learning and singing and spending all sorts of time with you as my rabbi. You've held me up with your right hand. You've literally given me life. And for this whole community, I know we are so grateful for the past 9 years. Thank you so much. Toda, Rabba, and high five. High four.
I'm grateful for Zoom that Shimmy could be with us too. We hope he feels better. Let us now begin our service with the nigun, and then we'll light our Sabbath candles.
So to bring in Shabbat, we invite Leah, of course, Philip's beloved, and Elsie and Ozzy and Nava, who have brought so much light and joy to our community, to give us the joy of bringing in Shabbat tonight. Come on and join them. I don't have to invite you up. Come on around, guys.
And Rabbi Sapphire, I hate to say this,
Come on over, Nava.
the next slide, Rabbi Sherman's not doing it tonight.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thanks.
Let me also say that on Zoom, we are inviting our Bar Mitzvah student this week, Eli Wexler, to light our Shabbat candles. So mazel tov to you, Eli, and thank you for doing the honor on Zoom. So let's join together. We'll take a deep breath and welcome the joy and shalom and peace of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Thank you, Sherman's Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And so we know that Rabbi Sherman has a deep love of our liturgy, and something that we practice on Shabbat is this idea of going forth toward our beloved, and Shabbat is like our beloved. And so we've made our liturgy a little bit more robust tonight in your honor, Rabbi Sherman. We hope that you'll join together with us. The full text of Yedi Nefesh can be found on page 636, and I'm excited that Cantor Sefran will help me lead this. Let's join together. Yedi Nefesh av harachaman mishotecha el ritzonecha yarutzecha kimo hayam yishachaveh el
So let's continue with the words of the Chadodi, page 138, as we welcome Shabbat's presence into our midst. And I'm going to miss Rabbi Sherman's partnership in many ways, but one of them is going to be standing across from him on this bima, trying to catch the beat of the Chadodi. So come on up right here, Philip, because it's Philip who really started the clap on the Chadodi, so we need you, please.
Shamor v'zachor ribon echad Hishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo Leshem ultiferet velitila lecha dodi likra kala enei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likra kala enei Shabbat nekabela לקראת שבת לכוון אלך כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה Enei Shabbat nekabela Hitoreri ki ba'orech kuli ori shir dabeiri kevod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi לקראת קלה enei Shabbat nekabela
So let's rise and face the rear of the sanctuary as we welcome the Shabbat presence.
בואי ושלום עצרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה הולך דודי לקראת קלה או פני שבת נקבלה הולך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה פני שבת נקבלה
Let us remain standing in body or in spirit. We'll join together on page 146 for our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. We respond together. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Le'olam Va'ed. Yalla lay lay lay, 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 yalla lay lay lay.
You may be seated. We'll join on page 152. With the joy of Shabbat now in our presence, we now recognize the joy within ourselves. We take a moment for our own listening to our own selves, what we are feeling, connecting ourselves to our community and to Jews throughout the world. We'll join together with these sacred words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Let's join together on 154 for the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzotai v'tem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
So I believe it was in 2019, Rabbi Sherman and I were at Biennial together. I think, was it here in Boston? No, it was in Chicago. It was in Chicago. And we heard this amazing setting of a prayer that we thought we wanted to make our own. But I give Rabbi Sherman a lot of credit for bringing this to my attention, for there's a lot that we learned through your music. So perhaps we can...
And a little bit of the head and the heart.
A little bit of the head and the heart goes into this.
You can get lost in the music for hours, honey. You can get lost in a room.
We can play music for hours and hours, but the sun will still be coming up soon.
The world's just spinning a little too fast. If things don't slow down soon, we might not last. But just for a moment, let's be still.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
Let's all rise if you're able for tefillah. Oh God, open up our mouths that we may declare your praise.
Open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagipor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, L'Ma'an Shemo Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah, Ata Givor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Ata Rav Dehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Ahafar, Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol, Ata kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'chol yom yihallelu Selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue with the meditations of our own hearts, or the words we find in the prayer book.
shalom b'roma. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Shalom b'roma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen. Yadadai, yadadai, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen.
When we gather together in community, our prayers join together and they strengthen, double, tripled, quadrupled. And so together with all of these voices, all of these prayers lifting together here in our sanctuary and on Zoom, we think of those whom we love who are in need of healing, whether it is a healing of mind, of body, or of spirit. If there's someone you love who you are thinking of this evening, we invite you to rise, so that we may come around and hear their names, that we may lift all of these prayers higher and higher as we wish for them shalom, return to wholeness, fullness, and healing. And I've been asked to add the name of Martha Fagan, to which I add Alex Iacono. We join together on page 371, the words of Misha Berach.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Be shepherd. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And each Friday night, we also give thanks for those sacred God-given times we've shared during the past week. And on Zoom, we invite you to use the chat room for those God-given times like birthdays or anniversaries. And in the sanctuary, I invite people to share. Do we have any birthdays in the room? Happy birthday. Anniversaries, it's June.
Oh, we got one over there?
Happy anniversary.
We got a family
Many.
over there?
Whose? Your parents' 50th. Mazel tov. So anniversary? Happy anniversary. Another anniversary, right? 22. Got it. Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov. I want to acknowledge, if we don't kvel, we acknowledge God for those God-given times that we didn't get credit for. But I will do a collective kvel for the graduates because I know that it's the Wellesley High School graduation today. It's the Natick High School graduation today. Newton North and Southwestern is today. All these Shabbos graduations. Unbelievable. Every year Wellesley says it's not on Shabbos. It's not sundown yet. But we want to wish all of our graduates a mazel tov. Any other first teeth or new things? Deb, I hope it's not you lost a tooth. Yes, a Shechianu moment. Our community just welcomes our first Ukrainian family. So hopefully more to come, but quite an extraordinary moment. Oh. And Juan and Andrew, their 5th anniversary, so thank you. Did Bud send that in, or is he here? Exactly. Roy and Jody have a new grandson. So I can't are suffering. Well, we have another important moment in the life of our community this evening, as you know, as we wish Rabbi Sherman well as he transitions to his new role as senior rabbi of Congregation Beth Elohim. Is that how they go? B'nai Yehoshua Beth Elohim, which meant there was a merger once upon a time. And I want to thank the entire committee. It was a large committee of hard workers. And I want to invite Danny and Elizabeth to come forward first and just to share a few words in honor of Philip.
Shabbat Shalom.
Before we get started, we wanted to express our gratitude to a few people who have lovingly worked to make this weekend meaningful for you, Philip, your family, and our community. Thank you to our Farewell Philip Committee of congregants and staff, Lynn Burke, Lisa Cohen, Laura Fader, Glenda Ganem, Heather Ganitsky, Sandy Goldstein, Deb Gottbetter, Jackie Hoagland, Susan Karen, Allison Kerr, Jessica Lasser, Marcia Merkin, Vicki Rakoff, Risa Shames, and Barbara and Jeff Turk. Your devotion to Philip is infectious. Thanks also to our clergy team for everything you do always.
There you are. Okay, Philip. I remember the first day I met you. You were sitting in Mike Levenger's living room, interviewing to be our assistant rabbi. I was a newish TBE leader then, my first non-kid-related committee. You were even younger, and to be honest, you looked it. What I recall most from that interview was your piercing thoughtfulness. You may have been new at it, but you projected unbounded wisdom and kindness. As it turns out, it was just the beginning. As I look back on my own TBE journey, the part that's independent of Elizabeth's upbringing here, it flows mostly through you. I'm a crier, and I'm starting early, and I'm a better person because of it. Over the years, we've dreamed up all sorts of adult learning programs, mostly by you, through my time as our VP of Adult Jewish Living. We've studied countless texts together. We've participated in innovative mindfulness and prayer practices together. Yeah, mindless. Those two. You can tell. You can feel it. And we created meaningful personal relationships with our sister congregation in Haifa. I've been lucky to be a part of your growth, and you've been a catalyst for mine. It's an honor to be here at the end of your road at TBE, a bittersweet milestone in my own journey. I know that you've touched many souls here. You've been with them through the simchas and the difficult times. I remember when TBE held what seemed like the biggest and most crushing funeral imaginable. Jody was on vacation, and you stepped in, chanting El Malei Rachamim so hauntingly, tuning your gifts to our community's needs. Or the time you supported a family struggling through a messy divorce, or checked in with me constantly as I coped with some rocky professional years. Truthfully, for me, it's those personal moments when I've experienced your kindness and your spark. Several years ago, I was punched in the face, unprovoked, by a 6'4" brute in a soccer game. Yes, the same team that crippled the leg of one of our other beloved rabbis. It's a great story for another day. You came to see me on a pastoral visit, sitting on our porch, and asking all the right questions with your kind eyes. Despite my black eye and swollen lip, it really looked more gruesome than it was. I was in good spirits, and you could tell I was up for some levity. After a moment of quiet, you blurted out, "What a dirtbag." We burst out laughing. I like those unguarded moments most, when I see you on Zoom on Saturday mornings with Ozzy by your side, when you drum on the lectern during Shabbat services, when you don a goofy costume with gusto at Purim, or the time we traveled to Israel on the Haifa partnership trip, and we had dinner at a kosher barbecue restaurant, something essentially unavailable here. We worked our way through piles and piles and piles of delicious meat. I have never seen such pure joy on someone's face.
You and your family have enriched our community and our lives. I know I speak for many of us when I say that watching the Sherman family both on Zoom and here at TBE during Shabbat services and Saturday morning minyan has brought incredible joy. Ozzy, Elsie, and Nava, you are such an important part of TBE, and we will miss you so much. Leah, your calm, gentle warmth is evident from the moment someone meets you. Being in your presence, as I have been even more in these last few months during our Wednesday morning swim sessions, is soothing and comforting. We know that you will bring this same ruach to your new congregation, and they are so lucky to have all 5 of you.
Philip, you've always had a serious side and an anxious streak. One time when you were feeling a little disheartened about engaging congregants successfully, you said out loud to nobody in particular, "I just want to find people who are passionate about their Judaism." Could anything be more Philip? Over the years, you've tried many different things: Living Torah 21, Bina, Bring in the Light, a TBE Learning Institute, T-Bell, Minyan and Torah Study, even Meet Your Rabbi at Whole Foods during Sunday school. You executed them all well, the slightest touch of self-doubt always ensuring that you had thought through everything. But something extraordinary has happened over 9 years here. You've come to learn that you were on the wrong search, these elusive, passionate Jews. Instead, with the benefit of time and quiet but growing confidence, you've simply let your Torah light shine through, infused with your unique take on the Hasidic masters and a drive to pursue justice in the world. How do you find people who are passionate about being Jewish? You inspire them with your own passion. For many of us, your enduring legacy here is that you helped us become passionate about our Judaism. You have for me. Many of your teachings over the years have stuck with me. I remember one vividly. With the pandemic approaching, the nation in political turmoil, and disaster seemingly lurking everywhere, you were feeling the weight of the world. In that moment, you shared a teaching from Rashi about the blood on the doorposts in the Pesach story. Our people's most terrifying moment, with the angel of death around the corner and a dictator intent on our enslavement. Surprisingly relevant, actually. We had the story all wrong, you told us. Surely the Holy One knows who's Jewish and who isn't. It would serve no purpose for a mark to be placed on the outside of the door. It wasn't meant to alert God. The blood was on the inside. It was a sign for us, a declaration of our own intent to be faithful to God and each other, to embrace the revelation that was yet to come, to see your light and ignite the world. And that is your essential teaching. It's essential and enduring to nurture your own inner spark and then share it with the world, to be a lamplighter. I burn brighter because of you. You're my lamplighter. I know that's equally true for the learning and prayer crowd as it is with those in the preschool community, on the racial justice team, and the green team, and so much more. And so, here we are at the end and at a new beginning. From one hiring committee to the next, I had the opportunity and the honor to speak with a member of your new congregation's search committee. She asked many questions. They were also embarking on a big transition. How does Rabbi Sherman deal with conflict? Can he deliver a powerful sermon? Is he able to connect with congregants in their time of need? The answer was yes, and I said all the right things. I left out the dirt bag. Rabbi Sherman is going to be a great leader of the community, I concluded. She probed a little deeper. I leveled with her. Look, I said, let me explain it this way. We have lots of rabbis at our congregation, but Philip's my rabbi. I'm losing my rabbi. She finally understood. In my head, though, I was thinking, I'm losing my friend, and they don't know how lucky they are. May your journey be filled with many lamps to light. Shabbat Shalom.
And so Jessica and Laura, if you can come forward, as we have a gift for you, Philip, and then Vicki, you're next. You'll all come up together.
So much of what we wanted to say has already been said because it's worth saying many times over. But the first gift that we wanted to offer you is a symbol of something that we think of when we think of being in the building, the almond blossom, that we hope you can take a little piece of with you, maybe to hang in your new office and take a little piece of the building with you. So this is a beautiful mezuzah that Dana Sobel helped us have designed through Corbo. And we hope maybe you'll want to hang the almond blossom mezuzah that reminds us of a piece as you've inspired us. And we will all take pieces of your learning and teaching and support that for good times and in bad.
Thank you. And Jessica?
Yes. Sorry. So Laura gave you something for your office from the congregation. This is something for your home from the congregation, because I know I speak for all of us when we say, well, we love you very much. We really love your family. And we all really, really, really just, when I picture Shabbos with breaking bread, I picture Ozzy and Nava and Leah and Elsie all being there. And I know I've told you one of my favorite moments was holding Ozzy while Yom Kippur ended, and we were eating challah, and we're just gonna miss you so much, and our hearts are broken that you're leaving us, but we're so happy for you. So this is also from Dana Sobel, a beautiful challah board, and underneath it says, from your TBE family, because we are always your TBE family.
Beautiful. And Vicki?
Okay, over here. So I worked with Deb Gottbetter and Sandy Goldstein, and we had a slightly different task, which was to come up with a gift that enabled our whole community to express their gratitude to you. So we had 3 primary goals. One was to engage as many people as we could in creating something for you. 2 was to create something that in some way touched back to something here at TBE. And 3, to make it very, very small, okay, so that you can take it with you. So what we did was we asked our community to write words of gratitude to you on small cards. And if you look out right now, you can see them on the window. There's more in the box. It's not empty. And the reason we chose these cards was because I have been fortunate enough to be on the Allison Kerr tour of the building multiple times. And if you look at our arc, it's got small squares that represent our community coming together. And our arc is also designed to capture the fingerprints of everyone who touches it. And you are there forever. And we wanted to send this with you. And we made it small so it wouldn't get in your way, but also so that at any moment when you in your future want to celebrate with our community or want to be buoyed by our community, that you can pull out a few cards and we will be right there with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for representing us so well.
If you haven't filled out a gratitude card, you can do it on the way out. That's one way to give back to Philip's legacy. He's touched so many things. We hope you'll dive into all the different things that Philip has done with your hearts, your bodies, your dollars, whatever is right for you.
So, Philip, have a seat. I just want to explain what's going to happen now. I know the hour is late for a lot of the kids, but we did the 6 o'clock service so that you could be part of the festivities, but we're going to go a little long. And so if you need a break, we should close the back door at least. Thank you. And just take a break. But I wanted to share a little word of Torah and allow Philip to be blessed in the presence of our community, and then to hear from Philip himself. So, first of all, I just want to acknowledge your family once again. And Leah, we're going to miss you dearly. And your kids, Ozzy, Nava, and Elsie running around the sanctuary on Friday nights. It's always great to have you here at the temple. I just want to share a quick story. It was actually on the first High Holy Days that Philip shared at Temple Beth Elohim. He was so nervous on Rosh Hashanah that he almost tripped over the bima, face first, holding the Torah scroll. Right on the corner, right there. You remember it, huh? Almost had to catch him. But from that moment, I knew I loved Philip because his love for Judaism and the Jewish people just oozed out of him. And he knew that he was in an important place. And then he gave his first sermon on the holidays and finished the service. And then afterwards, I said, Philip, come on into my office. I want to speak to you. And he came into my office, and I said, sit down. And I said, tell me about your childhood rabbi. And he told me all about his childhood rabbi. And then he said, but Joel, why are you asking me about my childhood rabbi? And I said to him, because you're trying to be like him. And I want you to be Philip. Because we didn't fall in love with him, we fell in love with you. And for the last 9 years, we've watched Philip become Philip, an extraordinary, extraordinary rabbi, filled with wisdom and love and compassion, and really committed to hard work. And we here are all incredibly proud of him as he transitions to the next stage of his professional journey as a senior rabbi of a very prestigious congregation in a city called Chicago, which I'm told is somewhere between Boston and San Francisco. Tonight, instead of speaking to the congregation with words of Torah, I just want to speak to Philip, my colleague, my student, my teacher, my friend, and say, Philip, we are going to miss you around here. And personally, I just have to say, I'm going to miss you, as you have been with me amidst the most painful and challenging times of my life. And you have provided immense support, and I will always be grateful. And so tonight, all I want to say is, you are ready to lead, my friend. You are ready to lead a very prestigious synagogue because you are an extraordinary rabbi, as you have demonstrated over and over again in adult learning and social justice and families with young children and minyan and prayer and all that we've heard. And you know what? There are times when you're going to be challenged in your new congregation. And there will be times when you actually shake with fear. But I want you to know we are here for you. And we're going to look on with great pride and affection. So a little word of Torah, because this week our Torah portion is called Bamidbar, which means in the wilderness. And we learn in our Torah portion that sometimes it's in the wilderness, the place of the greatest fear, the place where you don't really know where life is going to take you. And there are lots of directions you can travel in, and you're a little scared. But we learn in our Torah portion that it's sometimes in those places in the wilderness that are opportunities for the greatest spiritual growth. It's in the wilderness in our Torah portion, Numbers chapter 3, verse 1, where Moses actually finds God. It says, Moses guided his father-in-law's flock into the wilderness and came to Horeb, the place where he saw the burning bush that was not consumed. Guess what? In the book of Genesis, Joseph was transformed in the wilderness. It says in Genesis, Joseph was supposed to die at the hands of his brothers until Reuben comes and says, wait a minute, don't kill Joseph. Instead, cast him into that pit in the wilderness. Hagar in the Torah hears God's voice in the wilderness. Because you see, it's in the wilderness where we don't know what the future will bring that the greatest transformation can occur. And we actually grow more than we've ever before to become the people that God intended us to be. And Philip, you are ready to enter into the wilderness. And it's that congregation in Deerfield, Illinois, that is going to challenge you at times, but I know you will lead successfully. Because you are a studier of Torah, and it's in this week's Torah portion. We learned that in order to travel through the wilderness, you only need two things. One, you need to surround yourself with people, just like you've done at TBE. Count them, our Torah portion says, Suat Harosh. Lift them up, value them, listen to them, learn from them, share life with them. And you are good at that, my friend. Be with people. And two, when you're traveling in the wilderness, according to our Torah portion, it says, remember to place the ark at the center of the camp while you're traveling in the wilderness. Meaning, make sure you keep God at the center of your life. And remind people continually that we're all just human beings, imperfect, nothing like God, just striving to live holy lives of joy and meaning in relationship with God. And that's why we come to synagogue. And Philip, you know how to do this. You know how to surround yourself with people and keep God at the center, and you know how to do it well. And so now you are ready to lead, and we are here to bless you with the words, may your journey be fulfilling, and may you look to the wilderness with confidence and excitement for all that your new congregation will bring. And of course, may you remember that even in the wilderness, you should look back a little too, to see from whence you came and visit us often. We're going to miss you. May you go from strength to strength. And so we're all going to rise now and go to the ark to bestow a blessing upon Philip in the presence of our community. And I invite Rabbi Sapphire, Rabbi Harper, student Rabbi Lesner to lead us.
Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, source of light and life who blessed our ancestors. Bless our dear rabbi, teacher, colleague, and friend, Philip Sherman, as he embarks on a journey to fulfill his passions and potential.
God bless his family with a sense of security and shalom. May they know the love. May they know the love of a new congregational home and find joy in growing and sharing milestones together. God bless him with the confidence and humility to know he has exactly the knowledge, experience, and skills that he needs to lead his community. For above all, Philip is authentic and compassionate. May he remain true to himself and the reflection of the divine within him.
May his work be meaningful, rewarding, and joy-filled. May his congregants be kind, and may his colleagues and partners be supportive.
And let's all join together with the following words. Eternal source of blessing, grant us the pleasure of an everlasting connection. May Philip's light and teachings continue to guide us. May we work hard to sustain the gifts he has given us. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu. May it be your will, O God, to lead Philip on a path of peace. May he go from strength to strength, from our Beth Elohim of love to a new B'nai Yehoshua Beth Elohim of love.
Ken Yehi ratzon. May this be God's will. And let us say,
Amen.
Let's all be seated. We're going to close the ark. Rabbi Sherman, you're up.
Wow. Thank you to all of you, truly from the bottom of my heart. I want to begin by thanking the committee who worked so hard to make sure that my family and I have a great send-off from TBE. We're so blessed to feel such love from this community, and I appreciate how much time and energy you've all put into making this such a special weekend for us. So truly, thank you. So I've been thinking about this moment for many months, and most notably, I've been reflecting on the fact that since I arrived in Boston in 2000 to start rabbinical school in 2007, Boston has celebrated 8 championship duck parades. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but if it's a while until the next championship run after this Celtics run, I think we'll know the reason. How can I adequately express my gratitude for this incredible community? My love for Temple Beth Elohim is deep and enduring. And most of you don't know that Leah and I were introduced to TBE 13 years ago, while in my 3rd year of rabbinical school. So I too remember the old building. A newly minted rabbi, Rachel Sapphire, helped us to prepare for our wedding. And from those early moments, I knew that there was a special quality to this place. And I'm thankful that a few years later, when I was going into my first placement, the search committee, led by Julie Somers and Helene Gelber, was open to thinking outside the box and hiring a Hebrew college ordained rabbi. When I started at TBE, we were expecting our first child. And now 9 years later, we have 3 children who love this community and are so deeply embedded within it. So much of our daily life revolves around TBE, and we will certainly always call this place our family's first Jewish home. Each of us, myself, Leah, Elsie, Ozzy, and Nava, have been nurtured by this community. Our children started in the toddler room at Gan Elohim, where they made lasting friendships. They have joined in communal prayer and developed strong Jewish identity. And they've surely experienced the joy of a delicious Shabbat oneg buffet, and I use that word intentionally, over these years. Leah and I are so grateful for the ways in which this community has helped them grow. And because our closest friends are part of this community as well, amidst the great excitement of what's next for us, we certainly feel sadness in this moment too. From the very first days that I walked into TBE, you have allowed me into your lives at the most transcendent and most fragile moments. Moments of profound joy and deep sadness, and everything in between. It has been my honor and privilege to be a rabbi here, and to be able to share this sacred home and life with each of you. Some of you were here in early July of 2013 when I stood on this bima for the very first time. I'd like to let you in on a little secret, which I guess is no longer a secret. I was younger, I was 27, and I was really nervous. And I actually had those feelings for a little while. And yet this community showed me such great compassion, care, and love. I went to rabbinical school to learn what I thought it meant to be a rabbi. And yet it was here where I learned how to be a rabbi. It's because of the experience I've had at TBE that I am ready to be a senior rabbi. This week we start a new book, Bamidbar, Numbers, a book in which we try to figure out what it means to live with a certain set of mitzvot in our lives, and through them find the possibility of holiness within them. For the Israelites, this narrative is all about what it means to walk forward and what is needed to guide us along life's journey. The book opens with a census, a reminder that as we walk through the wilderness, each one of us counts. In the text, it doesn't just say count, but as Rabbi Sissenwein said, it says lift up the head of each person. Lift up and identify every face. For it is all of us together that builds community, each of us sharing in building of something sacred and holy. The Kotzker Rabbi used to say, give me 10 righteous people and I will change the world. TBE has taught me that it is truly in community that we change the world. It is in community that we have the building blocks and tools to build a world of wholeness. And that as we pick up the brokenness in our world one by one, together we repair, and together we reflect, and together we renew to make the world whole. In all that I do, this path of living is what has guided me in my time here at TBE. And to stand here, to be counted among this community and this clergy team has been such a gift. To be able to learn from such incredible leaders and from each of you is truly a blessing. Even as I start an exciting new journey, I'm really going to miss TBE. And there's so many things, the travel, the classes, the retreats and conversations, and so much more that stand out as I reflect on the last 9 years. One of them is my work with adult learning. The foundation for adult learning was set well before I arrived. But together we embraced learning as a core part of our collective Jewish identity and responsibility towards one another. In our learning, we cultivated a deep sense of belonging, of questioning, and of bringing holiness into our midst. We experienced the wellspring of Torah as a holy meeting point. And I'm so proud of the way our learning programs pivoted during the pandemic. We seamlessly moved our programs onto Zoom, and with it, its serious commitment to one another with intention, compassion, and I have to say, incredible attendance. I know that TBE's learning programs will continue to grow under Hannah Carney's leadership, and I'm blessed to have shared in that process. Another has been my work with young children and families. And I often recall the naming of baby chicks as one of the most unique rabbinic experiences. Helping to cultivate a love for Judaism in our youngest community members has always been a source of joy for me. From Shabbat singing and classroom visits in the preschool to Tat Shabbat and parenting classes, I am so grateful for the sparks of light that we have lit and shared together in that space. And this community is blessed to have cantor educator Rosenberg here to lead our families with young children, and I'm excited that this community will continue to thrive. My experience with Tikkun Olam initiatives has included some of the most meaningful work I have done in the last few years. This community has taught me what it means to organize and to build a coalition and to effect real change. I'm so proud of the work of the Racial Justice Initiative and each Tikkun Olam effort. And I know that I will continue to be inspired in my rabbinate by this important work of repairing our world. And certainly each week in prayer and each moment of pastoral care and life cycle event has filled my heart and soul. And I'm grateful that in each of these moments, I was able to connect more deeply with so many of you and your families. And within this community are my colleagues and the incredible people I have had the privilege to serve with each and every day. Christine, Danielle, Elise, Laura, Allegra, Sue, Kim, Jeff, Max, Maddie, Kellen, Gloria, Jillian, Emily, Lynn. Each of you in your own way have brought such joy to our shared work, and I thank you for the ways in which you've supported me in our community. I don't think they're in here, but Chelsea and Olavo and Matthias and Michael. It has been such a blessing to know each of you. Thank you for all you do for our community. It is endless, and I am so grateful. And I'll miss the after-hours singing and sports debates and parenting connections and just the collective joy and smile. Susan, you are the one who calls to let me know about the most difficult pastoral moments in our community. It's truly a significant role to play for clergy. You have planned countless meals and expressed such great care for me and my family. Thank you for always answering my call with compassion and love. Stephen, it has been so wonderful to work alongside you, both figuratively and literally as office neighbors. Thank you for being a joyful mentor and supporting me and all of us in this community. Allie, Eliana, Hannah, Judy, and Josh, it has been such a privilege to be inspired by your work, to teach and help shape our next generation. Your tireless work and long days are well noted and worthwhile as they support our children and teens gaining a deep sense of love for TBE and for the Jewish people. Nancy, thank you for sharing Gan Elohim with our family and allowing me to play such a meaningful role in that community. Together with Lisa and all of our Gan Elohim staff, you've created a sacred, safe, and nurturing home for our preschoolers to fall in love with Judaism, and I'm grateful to have partnered with you. Ryan, I'm so happy to know you're keeping the good name of Hebrew College strong, and for sharing your passion for Judaism, music, and text with me. I'm excited for all the things that are in store for you. Vanessa, you have such beautiful Torah to share with the world, and I'm glad I was able to be a recipient of your teachings and wisdom. May it continue to be a blessing for you and this community. Allison, there you are. From the early years of Bina and Living Torah, the Ta'ana theme, the Simcha Project, Tikkun Midot, and civil discourse, our adult learning has expanded and grown in so many ways. And what a privilege it has been to share in that creation together. Throughout these years, I've been blessed to call you my teacher and greatest chavruta. Jody. It was such a joy to share clergy life with you. Thank you for making space for me to sing and play guitar, and for being a source of wisdom for all things with your calming presence. I am a better rabbi because of your support and encouragement. Rachel. 9 years ago, you were the only assistant rabbi, and then very quickly there were more of us. You welcomed me and Josh with the abundant grace and love ever present in your heart. Thank you for sharing that with me and for being an endless partner on my rabbinic journey. Our family has grown up together here, and we will miss you all so much. Shauna, 5 years ago, you arrived on the scene, and I thought I was just getting a new clergy partner. But what I didn't anticipate was how both you and Josh would quickly become emergency contacts for our family and your accompanying friendship. Your music and presence has deepened my own spirituality. And I know you're only a phone call away, but I already miss you. And I'm grateful to have shared this sacred home with you. Joel, where should I start? Perhaps I should share about our mutual friend, Dominic. For those of you who don't know, in my second year at TBE, I was so excited to attend my first CCAR rabbinic convention. I had so much to learn, many people to meet, an entire movement of rabbinic leadership to absorb. I was a younger rabbi eager to join the fray. And so I was a little surprised when Joel suggested that we leave the conference. And he took me to Suit Supply, where we met Dominic and spent the rest of the day buying suits. And yet on that day, in Joel's hometown of Philadelphia, I learned so much. That's a suit. I learned about the history of Jews in Philly, what a real pretzel tastes like, and that sometimes to be a rabbi, you need a new suit. Because to be a rabbi, you have to have a deep sense of history, to be nourished by the bread of our people, and have something nice to wear. Interestingly, at the next conference in Orlando, he suggested we go on the pool's water slides. And we did. Joel, you have taught me what it truly means to be a visionary and embody a love for Israel and the Jewish people. You've encouraged me and inspired my growth and offered the nourishment for me to grow well in this sacred space and have fun while doing it. You are a dear friend and colleague and chosen mentor. I am so grateful that you will be installing me at BJBE. I am blessed that our rabbinic journeys are woven together. You will always be my rabbi, and I'll be calling you very soon. I also want to thank my parents, David and Julie, and my in-laws, Paul and Cheryl, for being here this weekend, and for supporting me on my journey in so many ways. I love you all very much. I also want to thank my sister-in-law, Collie, whose many hours of caring for our children made it possible for me to be more deeply present in my work here. And Elsie and Ozzy and Nava, they're outside. Elsie's here. There you are. Okay, good. They're all here. You're my inspiration for making Judaism relevant for generations to come. You're why I do this work. I know that sometimes I have to leave during bedtime to come to the temple, to teach, or for a meeting, and you may not fully understand it now. But I hope you know that when we are connected to community, we have family wherever we are. When we are connected to a people, we feel a greater sense of belonging, like the way we feel right now. I love you all very much. And while it's sad to leave our favorite Cape Barada treats, I can't wait to try a Portillo's cake shake with you in Deerfield. Leah, I remember standing in our old apartment on Lake Ave when I received the call that I got a job at TBE. I remember the joy we felt when we realized our family would be a part of this community and that we would be able to remain in Boston to start our family here. And it's been so great. I know it's certainly not easy to be a rabbi's partner, and yet you are my biggest supporter, encourager, editor-in-chief, and you love that I love what I do, and I love you for that. I know that my work is often in the public space, but I want you to know that I see everything you do for our family, and I know this community sees you too. They see how you bring 3 children to services by yourself every Shabbat. They see how you rarely get to listen to a sermon or have your own quiet prayer space. And you do all these things with so much love, and I'm grateful beyond measure. I'm so glad you've also found your own home here, and I know this move has a loss for you. We have a real adventure ahead of us, and I can't wait to see what the next part of our story will be. And I promise the work that I've done to soften my Midwestern accent while living in New England will not unravel too quickly. I love you. I'm so grateful to each member of this community. For those who I've partnered closely with on our temple board, Danny and Vicky, Jessica, Neil, Bob, Pam, to Adult Learning and Social Justice and the Aldenu Committee chairs. And there's so many of you with whom I've planned programs and taught classes, and even though I can't mention all of your names, it has been such a joy to share in this work with you. I'm so lucky that TBE is the founding narrative of my rabbinic journey. Thank you and you on Zoom for partnering with me, for teaching me and letting me in. I often teach about the power of sacred light, the sacred light in this world. Thank you for being a light for me and my family as we move forward. I'm so grateful to lead another Beth Elohim, B'nai Yehoshua Beth Elohim, with the light of this community all around me. Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So I want to acknowledge Cantor Zell for passing on a song that she prepared for you this evening. But we're going to do it tomorrow night because we're going to honor you tomorrow night in study of Torah that begins with a service at 6 o'clock, dinner at 7, study in honor of Rabbi Sherman at 8, and song.
Yeah.
7:45, great, on Zoom or here. But we wanted to, rather than listen to the song, which we'll hear tomorrow night, ask for God's blessing upon you in the presence of community with Leah and any child that's left. But I think it's the two of you. So Leah, will you just come up? Oh, good.
Elsie, will you come join us?
And
Is
Elsie,
Nava up here?
with the words of the priestly blessing. And normally we used to hold hands, but it's COVID. So the warmth of this community surrounds you and on Zoom as we ask for God's blessing upon the Sherman family.
Nava, do you want to come hang out? Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
And let's all say, Kain Yehiratzon, may God bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
Kain Yehiratzon, may God always be with you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Kain Yehiratzon, may God bless you with a life of wholeness, of shalom, of peace, and let us all say, Amen. Please be seated. We're going to conclude soon and greet each other outside or in the atrium. There's a special oneg. Rabbi Sapphire, do you remember what makes it special? I know a lot of people worked hard.
Yes. It's special oneg because it's Leah's favorite desserts. Thank you, Susan.
Excellent. Leah's favorite dessert. But before we do, can we count the Omer? And then we're going to share in words of Mourner's Kaddish and conclude in the sanctuary. There we go.
All right, you can see our original plan for services. We're being flexible. So I am so thrilled and so proud that we have counted the days of the Omer, 7 full weeks together as a community. It has been a real pleasure to share teachings with you and to hear your wisdom in return, and we have felt your presence counting together as a community. So we get to count the final night of the Omer together.
I know.
Ready?
It's contagious. Tantra, come join us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer.
Hayom tisha v'arba'im yom shehem shiv'ah shavuot la'omer. Today is 49 days, which is 7 full weeks of the Omer.
Thank you. Let us now continue with the words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. And I'd like to invite all of those on Zoom who are in the period of mourning to please use the chat room to record the names of the individuals they're remembering. And in the sanctuary, if you are in the period of mourning or observing a yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of a loved one, we invite you to rise at this time to recite the name or names of those individuals you're remembering. So perhaps you can take this section. I'll begin here. Cantor. So in support of the mourners in our midst, if we can all rise as the mourners lead us with these words. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
V'yalmad yivrach roteh v'yamlich malchuteh. B'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayed ho Beit Yisrael. B'galav v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei t'grusha b'richu. Leila minko birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiran miyama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Kiddush and Motzi, correct? Philip, will you come up and lead us? We're going to go outside real soon. I just want to thank you so much for all that you've done for our community, especially during COVID. Philip stepped forward in a way that was quite extraordinary. And I just want to thank you for all that I've learned from you. One day I will even wear brown shoes with a navy suit. I'm not there yet.
We didn't mention
I have a lot to learn.
I was going to say something, but now it's Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho v'yahava uvratzon yinkilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher etziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'otanu ki
מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim.
Is it juice? Is it wine?
It's warm.
Good answer.
You ready?
Right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Shabbat shalom. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Nice to see you all. What a night.
What a night. So special night. Who else has tears in their eyes tonight? Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Martha and Mary.
Oh, Shabbat.
You've even forgotten what you got for me at the beginning of the year.